starts off chapter 3 by talking about his research on smartphone habits and how people hide their usage patterns like they would their religion. Next, he defines and talks about addiction. He then focuses on smartphone addictions and explains how it's just over dependency on our devices. He then compares smartphone addictions to other addictions to support the reason it should be recognized by the APA. He also compares the U.S., who doesn't recognize technology addiction as a real addiction, to other countries like China, Japan, and South Korea, who do recognize it. Next, he talks about more reasons it's not recognized, like productivity decreasing in the workplace. Then compares technology addiction to drugs because it gives you the same desired feelings. Behaviors can range from habitual interaction to addictive disorder. Next, talks about how APA divides the behaviors into habits, which are the least harmful, and it's just routine sequencing. Next is compulsions, which significantly interferes with the person's daily activities, and addictions, compulsive by nature. Next, after that, he talks about his surveys he did for his book on cell phone dependency, and different ways he tracked his topic. Next, he explains the difference between substance and behavioral addictions. Next, he compares addicting quality video games to smartphones. He compares the addicting qualities of video games and smartphones that those two share. Next, he explains the severity of the word addiction and how addiction's more serious than a habit. Next, he talks about checking habits and how many times people go on their phone. He talks about how difficult it is measuring these because your phone isn't fully unlocked, so it can't gain all the information. Next, the chapter talks about it compares checking phones to slot machines with the reward system, because you check your phone looking to see, that one person texts you. Next, it compares the brain to looking at our brain with a smartphone addiction, compares it to drugs such as alcohol and cocaine because it affects dopamine. Next, he supports why it should be recognized as a mental illness by what it does to the brain. He finishes the chapter with the effects on health that this addiction has, and again, that's another supporting fact why it should be considered a mental addiction or mental illness. I relate to this because I have no idea how many times I check my phone, and when I think of all the times, it just makes my brain hurt. And yeah, and it makes my brain hurt, and yeah. But I also relate to this because I definitely, thinking about it, I definitely have a cell phone addiction. Not addiction, cell phone habit. And I try to think about how many times I check my phone every day, and I just can't. I can't. It's way too many, and it's right. Yeah, you're right. Like, I check my phone, and I don't even know that, I can check my phone, and you'll be like 5 minutes later, yo, why'd you check your phone? And I'll be like, I checked my phone? I don't remember that.